Hey, welcome back, YouTube. Lord Zath with another episode of Zath's Replay Theater with joint commentary again, special guest star Vartazian.
I am here again. You can't get rid of me.
That's right, folks. I've tried. So anyway, this is our clanmate chriztahfah in the Amagi.
Yeah. Battleship man. Played a lot of Battleship in clan battles.
Yeah.
I've also had to play against him in ranked, which has not been fun.
Yeah, that's part of the reason I'm debating whether or not I want to play more now that I'm up with all of you guys, or if I want to just kind of sit back, let you get out of the queue, and then I'll jump in.
There's been a couple Kraken members that have done that, so maybe it's a smart idea. I'm an idiot. I just fight everyone, so you know, and that's probably why I have this giant wound on my head from banging my head into my keyboard.
Do you still die like right away?
No, I don't. Thank you for asking that, though.
No problem.
No, I've gotten smarter. I've been working on that since CB. My damage is still high, but my survivability's gone up a bit. That's usually I'm there till the end, getting yelled at by my other teammates. You know, because that's how ranked goes sometimes.
Oh yeah, those are always the fun part when your teammates die and then they start trashing you, and you are the reason that they're winning.
Yeah. Dude, why aren't you pushing? Because I have 1,000 health. Why do you have 1,000 health? Because my DD suicided in the first 30 seconds.
Shut up and let me win this battle.
Yeah.
Oh my god, last night I had this North Carolina game. I was mentioning it in the chat about how I went ring around the island with the North Cal. And the only reason I was able to do that is because I actually asked somebody on my team that died, like, hey, can you look over to the North Cal and tell me where his guns are pointed? And the guy said, yeah, they're pointed straight. So I knew he was expecting me to come left, so I went right. That's the only reason we won that battle.
Yeah. It's almost like having teammates that help you is a good thing.
Right. I mean, how dare they?
Yeah. I mean, privileged players over here with teammates that will talk to you instead of yell at you. What's going on?
Right? That's the glory of ranked at times. So anyway, Flag set up this standard ranked flags. Looks like he's trying to grind a little commander XP, but extra flood repair, or not extra flood, sorry, extra repair party, detonation, anti-det flag, speed, commander, secondaries, consumable reload,
Anti-air.
thank you, anti-air, and that's the anti-fire. So
Yep.
any flags missing?
No, that looks like everything for me. You wouldn't run anything like fire chance on a battleship, like for your shells. Save those for your cruisers and stuff like that.
Being said, tier 6 ranked, boy, I ran fire chance on my Fuso. That was fun.
Cruiser Fuso was actually a lot of fun. I like tier 6 more than tier 8. So
Yeah, absolutely, me too. Oh, and military month, gotta point that out.
yeah, I got it. Yeah.
So what's up with this Amagi in ranked?
Amagi, very good flanking battleship. If the Tirpitz, Bismarck, NorCal, and Alabama are your main line, get punched in the face guys, the Amagi is the one that goes around on the flank and sticks 16-inch shells into your broadside. It's fast, it maneuvers well, and it's got a really good armor scheme that lets it kind of stop lots of HE shelling from coming in and essentially burning you alive like the NorCal.
Really? Are you talking about the torpedo bulges?
No, I'm talking about the armor belt on the side. It stops a lot of shells, and it does. I think the Amagi has a really good weather deck, doesn't it? Kind of like the Mogami. It's like 40 inches or something, or 40 millimeters or something.
You might be right on that.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I actually hated the Amagi. It was my least favorite ship in the line. I'm a proprietor of the Izumo.
Yeah, I like the Izumo.
Yeah, the Izumo's a great ship, but it's a very tough ship because the armor belt actually spans from aft to bow. So, in terms of getting penetrated by smaller arms, you know what I mean? 203s, those are small arms. It's a lot more resilient, and the superstructure isn't nearly as big as something as, let's say, like a Tirpitz or something like that. So it doesn't eat a lot of superstructure damage. And it's also what is the concealment in the Amagi? 13.
Looks like it.
Yeah, 13. So, it's not the stealthiest thing, but it's quick. It's a quick little boat.
Right.
Yeah, I'm scared of Amagis in my cruisers because the dispersion on it's not that bad, and it's got a pretty good turret layout as well. So
the other main strength of the Amagi too, if I could jump in, is that it has a turtleback citadel. So it's very difficult to citadel these guys at close range. So it makes them very good brawlers.
yeah, that is right, and it's also got those really good AP secondaries for when you get close to something like a cruiser. I've actually scored some really good penetration damages with the Amagi secondaries. Amagi and Nagato, they both kind of have that layout where it's all on the side there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we've got some HE secondaries here. These are dual purposes. Anti-air is okay.
Yeah.
Unless you spec into it.
Yeah. Amagi AA leaves a little bit to be desired. That's more for the key.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Speaking of which, so what makes the Amagi better than the key in ranked?
I think the key has worse dispersion characteristics.
Correct. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that makes it so that it's not nearly as good at punishing people from a long distance. And if you're the key has torpedoes though, doesn't it?
Yes, it has 6-kilometer torpedoes out the rear here. So they're almost like the Graf Spey's torpedoes in terms of arcs.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, so the key is the torps, but at that point, if you're moving in and brawling a lot, the Tirpitz is going to be your go-to. So the key doesn't really fulfill a role that that is needed. It's kind of does the Amagi's job okay, and it does the Tirpitz's job okay, but you just want to play either one of those ships if you're going into rank, right?
Yes. Also, the Amagi has that this torpedo bulge, whereas the key does not. So the key takes a lot more torpedo damage, and it doesn't have that really nice turtleback armor either. It's got a turtleback, but very weak turtleback, so it can be citadeled for days.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, see, I didn't know the key that well. I was actually taking a hiatus from the game when the key came out.
Oh.
So yeah, I actually didn't. I'm not that educated on them, and I didn't see a lot of them. So I think I've only seen like 3 in ranked so far. It's been a small number.
Well, now you know. If you see a key and you're in a battleship and he goes broadside, just laugh. Laugh and shoot him.
Shoot him. Yeah.
So we'll get started in a sec here. We already see Chapayev, you want A or B. Interesting that the destroyer is asking the cruiser which way to go. And Chris saying let's fight wherever cap hard because we have radar, which is a good point.
Yeah.
Fuck it, going B. And
All right.
capture area A.
All right. So the cruiser tells him to go to A, and he's like, "No, I'm going B." How many raiders are on each side? Because apparently there's a Chappie on one side. Okay, so yeah, they have radar, and the other team doesn't.
Yeah, the other team has Hydro though.
The other team does have Loyang Hydro. So I would give the advantage in terms of just ship layout to the enemy team.
Mm.
I really don't like the Akazuki and Benson that much. But each side has a kid, and the Loyang, it's so good. It locks out an entire point for 2.5 minutes because of that German Hydro.
Yeah.
Even though it's not German Hydro.
Well, and I mean, the Loyang could even go here and lock down half of both caps almost with its Hydro. It's just crazy.
Yeah. The only thing that's kind of cruddy for it, though, is that the kids do eat it alive. They have way more health.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely got to keep that in mind when you're playing a Loyang. But, you just pop smoke, then the kid can't do anything because it has 5 torpedoes. You have Hydro to detect torpedoes. And if he gets close, you munch on him. So
I've also found Akizukis to be very situational. You'll see that they'll just get blapped and dead right away, or they'll assassinate every destroyer they come across, and it's very based on the player.
Yeah, the third option I've seen is an Akizuki just becomes a cruiser hunter.
What?
I'm not kidding. It'll go behind an island. It has that nuts rate of fire. It puts 3 fires on something. And then the cruiser puts out the fires, and then another 3 fires. It's kind of like a third cruiser, but at that point you're almost playing a Kiev, so play the Kiev.
Don't have to ask me twice on that one.
Yeah, I know you love your bias boats.
Yes. And then so we've got Chapayev, like you said, Togwa's kind of cancel, so they've got a Charles, which means we just saw that Charles video. We know he's probably going to be flanking.
Yeah, if the Charles is doing what he's supposed to be doing, he should definitely be flanking. I would give the battleship advantage to Chris's team.
Absolutely.
Because they have an Alabama and an Amagi, so they have more firepower. They have 2 sets of 16-inch guns as opposed to 1 set of 15s. inaccurate 15s, might I add, and a set of 16s. I think the North Carolina has better gun characteristics than the Alabama, but they aren't good enough to negate the fact that you have an extra set of 16-inch guns on other players. So.
Yeah, it really depends on positioning because they're both incredibly weak to flank side shots. So there's that to consider. Also, in terms of the cruisers, Atago Chapayev can pen the bow only and stern only of the North Carolina. They can't do jack, I think, to the Bismarck. Because it's 50 mil bow, right?
Yeah. Bismarck is going to be pretty tough to beat. The Atago's going to have to shoot at the superstructure for the most part.
Right.
Or AP it.
Right. Versus the enemy team, the Charles and Atago can just farm Chris for days, and they can also pen the bow or stern of the Bama.
Yeah, that's true. Having the double 203s is actually really nice. Of course, everyone always complains about IFHE 155s, but 203s do have their own merits too. So.
All right, well, let's see how things go as the team has already kind of fought over where we're going, and oh, look, there's Benson.
Yes. The lone Benson.
Yeah. I almost want to fly over there and watch him die, because I have a good feeling that's going to happen, but we'll see.
What? He's going to get cracking, man. Don't sell him short.
That's true. That's true. And the thing is, you never know what's going to happen in ranked, as we saw last battle.
Yeah, that's crazy. Go check that out if you haven't.
Yeah, seriously.
Charles Martel game. It will surprise you what happened. It's not going to be exactly what you think happens, so definitely stick around and have a look at that one.
So the enemy team is going B as well, with one destroyer to A. So, I mean, the Benson could, in theory, kind of... There it is. There he is.
Yeah. So Benson will lose to the Kid, because the Kid has repair. So Chris is actually sighting in on the Kid here, and somehow the Kid's losing. You get a good shot here? Yeah, he might be getting penned here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Battleship AP is balanced.
Right? Heal that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's okay. The Benson is still getting shot, though.
Yeah, the Benson still isn't contesting A for some reason, despite the fact that the Kid just got just met his maker. Pretty much.
Yeah. And we got a broadside Bismarck, so of course punish that.
Yeah. For that Kid shot, did you notice how good the dispersion was on those rounds?
Yeah.
It's like a sigma of like 5. Let's just put them. Let's all just put them right on top of each other.
I wish I could have that.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I'll bet you it's the mod he's running. You see that? You know that crosshair mod he runs?
Oh, somebody get a hold of Wargaming. This guy's doing illegal stuff. Somebody report him to Kraken leadership.
Oh, that's why the Benson was still being shot. The Lo Yang is over there.
Ah, there we go. So smart Benson, knowing something that we don't.
And not telling the team.
Yeah.
Oh, skills. Wall of skill coming. Oh no.
So Benson gets detonated. So enjoy your flags.
Right. And here we see the glory that is the Amagi.
Ooh.
Or not.
Right on the nose.
Derp.
Whose torps were those? Those are a spread of 5, so those were Lo Yang torps? No, those did way too much damage.
Benson
those were way too much Benson torps.
Yeah.
Bismarck here does not understand the fundamentals of the game and promptly gets punished for it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And here comes maybe double strike?
Maybe.
Nope.
Benson is... Yeah, there we go. Speaking of luck and dispersion, I was playing against Coco the other day. You obviously know Coco. I was playing my Kutuzov. He was in an Amagi. Oh, here we go. Dodge these torps.
Take him on the bow again.
Yeah, just go straight. Hey, it's saturated. Why not? And Coco hit me with 3 shots in a ranked game. All 3 shots were Citadels.
Oh,
he 3-shot me.
Real quick too, I want to mention when we were just joking about taking it out on the bow. For those of you guys that aren't aware, when you've got a torpedo bulge like this, you want to get the torpedoes to hit you on that torpedo bulge. The bow does the majority damage. If you look in the port, there's something called torpedo damage reduction or something like that called TDS, and if that's a certain percentage. Amagi's is something stupid like 48%. So if you get hit on that belt or on that bulge.
Yeah, the bulge.
It reduces the damage of that torpedo by that amount. So we saw him taking it on the bow. He took the full damage of the Benson, and it was a guaranteed flood. Versus if he had taken it here on the belt, reduced damage and less chance of flooding.
Yeah, it's really important that you take stuff on the bulge. The one downside of that is chances are if you're taking one on the bulge, you're taking two.
Yes.
So it's one of those things where you have to weigh it. There is a thing in the game called saturation, for those who aren't aware. And if you actually look at the bow of his ship there, he has torpedo saturation on the front. So technically, if he takes more torps on the front, there's diminishing returns, so there's less damage per torp. Does that mean you want to keep getting hit by torpedoes? No. It just means that if he were to take another one on the front, it would deal less damage, assuming he hasn't repaired all the damage. I think you can only repair 20% torpedo damage, or some number like that. You're the wiki guy. You know the numbers.
I knew you were going to say something. I'm just going to say consult the wiki on that, because they can tell you that better, but... I don't know. I got a mental image of Chris saying, "Torp me more, please," as he keeps on getting whacked in the bow.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. There's just gonna be scrap there. Keep hitting it, right?
Right. So let's see how his shots on that Martel do. 3 hits.
And the Benson goes down, charging the Alabama.
Yep. And the Bama's probably gonna take torps on the tip. Yep. Ouch.
You know, that was a lot, but you see how he took it all in the same spot? Each torpedo from the Benson does like, what, 18,000 damage?
Something like that. And by the way, look at this Chapayev. I mean...
Yeah, sailing in open water. That's a paddling.
Well, not only that, but I mean, I just heard it, and I know you can't hear the audio, but I just heard it, and I'm just like, what? You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, there it is. So... I don't know, and I just had to take some screenshots because I paused it there. So
yeah, that was a really good screenshot area. If you're playing a Chapayev, just a little sidebar here. I've played cruisers for a long time. It's pretty much my main class in this game. If you're playing a ship that has 155s that doesn't have a smoke, you need to either be far away or behind an island. What that guy did right there, don't do that, because that's what you're going to look like 10 seconds later. You're battleship food.
The Chapayev's positioning obviously was wrong. He should have probably been back kind of where the Akizuki is. Obviously a little farther in, like kind of where my mouse is pointing right now. Yeah. Because that, of course, is blocking at least line of sight, if not shots, from the North Carolina. But he's still close enough to where his radar can help to detect the low yang and whatever else it's, 11.7 kilometers away.
Yeah. 11.7 radar is pretty good.
That's one... Sorry, go ahead.
And the thing is, if you're behind the island, you can always peek out. So, and the thing with the cruiser player is you need to make sure that you're peeking out and shooting either when the enemy battleship's guns aren't looking at you or right after they fire. Because then if they look at you, you know you got 30 seconds, right? Pop out, you squeeze off a couple shots, you back up. They shoot at someone else because they're wasting their time looking at an island. And then you pop back out and shoot. You're not doing a DPM race against the battleship because you will lose every time.
Right. The other thing I hate when I see Chapayevs is a Chapayev kind of where my mouse cursor is right now, like the AB. Like you had mentioned, get that way the heck away. The problem with that is that the radar is completely useless all the way back out here.
Yeah. But it's always better to keep in mind, it's always better to keep your radar alive for later in the game than to do something early once, because you get 4 charges with Superintendent and Premium. Yes. So you want to make sure your radar's in the game, so you have to use your game sense to know, is it okay for me to back off for a bit? There's been times in my New Orleans where I've been up on the AB line, but at the end of the game, you better believe I'm in A cap or B cap radaring the DDs. I'm just making sure I'm not losing all my health.
Absolutely.
Because the only thing that's more useless than being on the A and B line is being dead in the first 30 seconds. So, definitely keep in mind that you do need to get yourself back in the game, but it's okay to fall back sometimes. You don't want to just die for no reason.
Absolutely. So if he doesn't like being this close, there's this island to hug, or maybe even this one, I guess, or this one.
Yeah, usually if you're on the B line, you're a little bit too far. The C line islands there are really good islands to be at.
Yes.
Yeah, there's one B line there that you saw. The 16 will actually cut halfway in, and it'll actually reach the middle island of B. So you'll be in position there to actually radar for your team.
So let's talk while it's paused real quick about positioning. Obviously, Chris's team is tight. They're all together in B, which can have its benefits and can also have its detractors because then you just torp and laugh.
Yeah. Big detractor, no crossfire potential.
Yes.
Have a look at where all their cruisers and battleships are. That North Carolina can position himself to point his nose at all 5 of their ships. That gives him increased torpedo protection, increased penetration protection. There's nobody flanking. The Benson's behind the team, so he's not scouting the enemy team. They're not in a good position right now. Whereas the enemy team, you can see the Otago on the 9 line there. You get flank shots on the Amagi. The Martel, he hasn't been spotted for at least, I think it's been about 2 minutes. He could be halfway up A by now. And then he's on the flank. And then I believe, what cruiser is that that's right there hugging the island? That's their last
Otago.
one. That's an Otago? Like, the Otago is, he has nowhere to go. If he moves out, the North Cal will lead him. And if he goes wide, the other Otago has advantage because Chris's Otago is going to be spotted before the enemy Otago is spotted because they have DDs in position. So right now, the advantage is definitely going towards the enemy team.
The Alabama also, we know, just took torpedoes, so we know his DCP is going to be down, and I'm sure the Otago and Martel are going to take advantage of that and farm him hard.
Mm-hmm.
So the only kind of light I can see in this situation is the Sakazuki is heading straight to the Loyang, and I'm pretty sure the Loyang's hydro is on cooldown right now. Of course, it might come up soon, but he's got an opportunity right now to just machine gun this guy to death. And if he can do that, then maybe possibly win the flank or go back into A, assuming the Martel isn't there and the Kid.
Yeah, so the Kid we knew, the Kid was at like what, 3,000 health before?
Yes.
So he's probably at about 9k now because of the repairs. So he's at half. Yeah, if the Akazuki can pull out all the stops and get the Loyang, how low is the Zuki right now? The duck, the super quack. He's full.
He's full. Yeah, almost.
Yeah, so if the Quacker goes in and takes out the Loyang, then they're all good.
Yep. What would you recommend Chris do at this point? What would you think Chris should do?
So I would bow tank the North Cal.
Okay.
Or at least deflect the North Cal shots, and then move out wide. They need to take the flank back. Move out to C. Move up to the C line.
So almost you would say kind of turn in towards him and then boink away.
I would almost turn in, cut speed, wait for the NorCal shot, and then max throttle to go actually to the left side of the C.
This one.
C7 island? Yeah, that one right there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he wants to go outside that because if he goes on the inside, he has nowhere to go to hide from the Otago, and he's also torp bait. So.
Okay. Good point. So let's see what happens, and for those watching, I apologize it took that long to get through all that, but hopefully you appreciate the breakdown and all that good stuff.
Some good pen damage there.
Yeah. Now I'm surprised he didn't aim for the guns.
Yeah, he didn't aim for the guns. Honestly, I would have just went straight through the bow for the bow pen damage.
Good point.
So the turbo quack's taking him down.
Yeah. And there's just nothing the Loyang can do about it.
No. And then Chris is going to render judgment. We'll see if he is found wanting.
488 hit points later.
And here's something, I know we don't need to pause, but this is something that everybody should be taking away from this game. The battleships are shooting destroyers.
Yes. And they're also with the team.
They're also with the team. The battleships need to be shooting destroyers because if you get one pen, that's 4,455 damage from a 16-inch round, and you are going to kill their destroyers quickly. That's the most important part. You got to keep in mind that you have big guns. Use them. Even if it means switching to HE sometimes, do it. You need to be shooting at destroyers in a battleship. There's no reason not to.
Really good hit on that Charles there.
Yeah. And they still haven't captured B yet. The points differential's starting to get a little dire here.
Yeah, but the Charles is doing dumb things.
The Charles is doing dumb things. How dumb? That dumb.
I like how you and I both just knew.
So the Atago's full. He's doing what he can to try and pound this battleship here. Now, this battleship needs to make sure he has a torpedo screen. The kid and the Akazuki need to go down to a little bit east or west of him to that island to be a torpedo screen. Yes, the kid only has 5 torpedo tubes, but they hit hard. And right now, he's not moving. Right now, Chris is not moving. Or he's moving very slowly. 12 knots, right? Like,
yep.
We're getting to Katori level speeds here.
Yep. Perma spotting the North Cal, though, which is good. If the Ducky is... And the kid is shooting him, okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, they could just sit and smoke and farm.
Duck arcs are pretty good, but not that good.
Oh, this Atago. He's panicking.
He's panicking, but Chris is getting torped. Oof. 20k. So Atago has really good frontal armor, but it's... Ooh, yeah. See how it bounced the 16-inch round there?
Yep.
It's pretty good, but the downside is that if he aims... See how Chris is leading him? He wants the shells to go straight through the front, because it'll just go straight through and get you your citadels. I've seen this happen a lot. So he goes for the pens instead. The Atago turns in, which is actually smart, because if you think about the positioning of the ship, Zath, if he's directly bow on, the shells will just go straight through, right? And there's more ship for it to pen. So it'll at least get you max pen damage. If you actually turn out, there's a chance for it to overpen, which is really good for the cruiser player.
Absolutely, and I actually had an Atago replay from Ranked where we watched him lose. He was at about this part of the health meter, and he went down to there. And one North Carolina salvo just went boom. So yeah, absolutely, and we know he's turning this way because he's going to unload his other torpedoes probably, right? Yeah,
he's got his extra set of torpedoes, and Chris has 53 seconds on his DCP. Atago torps deal about 18k damage after TDS, and Atago torps have a really high flood chance too.
Yes.
So,
and he just uses heal too.
And he just uses heal. So Chris is not in a good position here. However, he's not in a good position for about 16 seconds.
Right. Plus, that North Carolina doesn't seem to be caring much about doing anything to help. I mean, if he had been pulling forward to support the Atago, right, that's a huge threat. Now he's got broadside shots on Chris. But he's more worried about the kid, and the kid is obviously more worried about torping the North Cal in the face. So, you know, the question is, what's this Ducky going to do, right?
Yeah, we got to figure out what the Turbo Quack's going to do.
All right, shall we?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, Chris, let's see what happens.
So Chris goes skinny. He'll take at most 1 torp, depending on when the Atago torps. And for those who don't know, one of the main differences between the Atago and the Mogami is that the Atago does have front-firing torps.
Yes. And
that goes for the ARP to cow as well. So this is not good. Yeah. Oof.
Hey, high caliber. He's saving a star.
He is saving a star. Also, that was a widespread.
Yes. Panic torps, best torps.
Panic torps, yeah. Mashed the 3 key by accident.
Oh, the kid died. What do you know?
Wow, it's almost like charging a battleship at point blank is not a good thing. Oh my fucking god, like he didn't expect it to happen.
Right. Well, I mean, you know.
Yeah, aiming at the water line.
Too low, you think?
I don't know if it was too low. I'd say almost replay it. I want to see where the shells went. Yeah. But this happened to me. There is a spot between the gun and the citadel for the Atago, and it's actually only 20 millimeters of plating there.
Okay.
And that has happened to me. It's screwed me over in the past. If you don't aim low enough, or if the dispersion kicks your shells up, your shells will just go straight through.
So maybe that's what he was trying to do, is use the water to slow the shell down and hit the sit.
Hit the sit, and it looks like his shells kicked up, because I didn't see anything really pen at the water line there, so that was unlucky for him.
Yeah, well, only 2 hits out of 6 shots, too, so... But the front guns are ready.
And the front guns get them. So now it's 2-on-2. Chris is still behind. Oh no! Oh no!
Take it in the butt.
In the butt.
Oh, at least his DCP is available, and you know he was mashing it.
Yeah.
But now the question is, where's that North Carolina? Is he still there?
Using the friendly kids smoke. So the kids...
the kids smoked?
Yeah, the kids smoked. So Duck needs to go to A and fight this kid. What a weird sense. In any context other than ships, that wouldn't make sense to anybody. The Duck needs to fight the kid.
Whack, whack.
Yeah. Alright.
North Carolina's moving forward now, wanting to do something else for the team.
Mm-hmm. Make sure you keep the shift to enter binocular view on Chris's video, because he was making fun of me for the scrolling thing.
He was.
Yeah, so he's like, oh, we let scrollers into the clan. It's like, I let you into the clan. Boom, 1 over pen. It's actually...
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No, it's fine.
Oh, I was gonna say, for those that don't know, this is just a replay bug that's been brought in, so it happens pretty much every replay now.
Yeah. I was just making fun of him because Chris is gonna watch this video.
Yep. Now, click that scout plane. You want him gone as quickly as possible. Gone.
Yes. You want that scout plane dead. What's his AEA looking like left, Zath, for mounts? So he's still doing fine.
Yep.
Alright, so the Amagi needs to not get bow penned by this North Cal, and he wins.
Now, this is very smart. He's coming from the rear, so there's only really one turret that can shoot him. That's what the kid should have done.
Yeah.
And that heal.
Yeah, that's a really good heal. Most of the fire damage. So Chris has 4 kills right now, actually. It's amazing what happens when you shoot battleships, or shoot destroyers in battleships.
We all knew what you were saying. It's okay.
Yeah, it's amazing what happens when you shoot the things with the most health. So, NC, where did he go? It's a conspiracy. Oh, no.
And...
Chris.
Oh,
with the torpedo beats. Oh no.
He hit C key to move to the front.
Yep. Gets hammered, but doesn't care. Gets the Kraken. Lives up to the title.
He should. Absolutely. Boom. And now we know the kid's torps are out. He is being shot by the ducky, and of course, Chris is gonna just swing the guns around.
Yeah, here we go. He's on fire, just puts it out. True Unicum fashion. First fire, puts it out.
Yep.
And then watch this. Straight through the front, he's gonna get pens.
Doink.
Or no, 5 over pens, actually. So at that close range, I'm actually surprised that it was all over pens. He did really well, though. That was a great game for Chris.
Yes, it was. And it definitely showcased, I think, a lot of what you want to do in ranked when you're in a battleship. Also,
I don't know if you noticed this, Zath, but they were actually down 2 ships at one point there.
Yes.
And they were able to bring it back. So just because you're down a couple ships, if you have the skill, you can definitely turn the games around. You just need to be smart about what you're doing.
And on the flip side, if you are up 2 ships, 3 ships, even 5 ships, don't assume it's a win.
Yeah, because complacency threatens. So
yep.
If you just start throwing ships away, trust me, there's good players out there that will take the damage just to have it. So.
Yep, and then all of a sudden you've lost, and it's on you and everybody else on the team.
And everyone else that decided to throw their ships away. So it's very important to make sure that you play the match, play the whole match. Don't just give up. So
absolutely. Any other final last comments to make before we cut this?
I think that covers about everything that they did. We did have that long break, so I think we covered most things in detail already. So
agreed. Okay, yeah, we're getting quite long here at 34 minutes, but that's all right. So thanks again, and hey everybody else. Hopefully you've enjoyed this new thing that we're trying out. Please tell us what you think about it. By the way, if you enjoy having a guest commentator, so it's not always my voice you're hearing, and send us whatever replays, and we want to look at battles. We want to be able to help the community.
Yeah. Anything that we can do to actually help analyze replays, you don't have to send in wins, guys. You don't have to send in a 6-kill ranked game. We'd be more than happy to analyze. Games where you think like, hey, what did I do wrong? And you'd have a couple set of eyes to look at it. So
yeah, I think that was my favorite replay so far. There was a kid that was sent in, and at one point he even types in chat, "I have no idea what to do now." And I mean, it's those kinds of games that I think we want to see, especially to be able to highlight to any class, any ship, basically. Here's what you could have done, or maybe should have done, and just opportunities that a lot of people maybe don't recognize and pass up.
Unicum players didn't start as Unicum players, Zath.
Really? I mean,
Yeah.
when you should check my closed beta stats, man. I'm
Oh.
pretty sure I've got a 52% win rate.
Ooh. Actually, I lied. I did start as Unicum. I've been purple from the get-go. Yeah, I'm kidding. I was awful. There was times where I was asking people what to do. So,
Yeah.
don't be afraid to submit those replays.
Absolutely. We all had to work to get here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Well, thanks everyone. See you next time.